We're just jamming. Woo! Welcome to Power Rangers Playback, everybody.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Miss Katarina.
Good to see you. How's it going out there in snowy California?
Yes. I don't know if you guys saw or not, but I had to go live. I heard this banging on my roof, and I was like, that's more than freaking rain, because we've been having rain constantly. I go out and there's hail, just things of hail coming down, and it's snow, and it was so much. I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. It's just like our seasons don't know the seasons right now.
It's very odd. And then it's like warm here, like wearing t-shirt weather here, and it's winter, and we're already going into spring, and it's only the beginning of March. It's very strange what's happening in the atmosphere. Yes. Well, we have an exciting guest today, a very popular ranger with the gentleman particularly.
We have, and I call her Miss Cece now, but that's only my nickname. I think her family calls her that too, but we'll just pretend. Miss Ciara Hanna!
Hello.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Really good. We might have a surprise guest for you guys in the background too today.
He's floating around here somewhere. Future little ranger.
Yes.
This is the first time we got an opportunity to meet Canyon, who just looks like you. Just oh my gosh, he's an amazing ball of fire. I love it.
He's very much a fireball of energy, emotion, just like me, apparently. Everyone keeps telling me, but he came out with a ball of blonde hair, and I'm getting my own medicine. That's how I was, I guess.
I love it. So we are going to ask you just a few questions to start off, and then we're going to go on over to the super chats. But some of our members had questions, and Kat wrote them down.
Yes, and I wrote them down for us. Let's just open that up. The first question is from one of our platinum members, Ali. She helps us with a lot of stuff on our channel. She said, Ciara, how did you get the role on Power Rangers? Could you tell us about that?
Yes. So I started acting professionally when I was probably in my senior of high school. I did it when I was younger, and I got like the acting bug again when I was in high school. And so I got an agent, so I'd start doing auditions, et cetera, et cetera. The fun fact is, and I've said this before, is I actually auditioned for Samurai the season before me, and I got pretty far. I think it was between me and Brittany and maybe one other person. And I'm all about a person of gut feeling, and it just didn't feel right in that moment. And like, I remember crying with my mom in the car, like, it just doesn't feel right. But what, like, who would say no to being a Power Ranger? But I did. And I was like, I can't go any further in this process. So I denied. Yeah, I denied. I would like get the contract and everything.
Wow.
It was like so close, and it didn't feel right. And my manager at the same time felt the same thing. And I'm really like, I'm really happy I did, because like I really believe in a higher power, and everything happens for a reason. And they remembered me and brought me back for producer sessions for Megaforce, and they gave me a script. I went in, I wore a pink shirt because I was going for the Pink Ranger, and I had my little like pink tennis shoes on, all ready to go, super hyper at Americano this big. And they brought me in, and I was like super excited, like, and it felt right this time. Something in me felt like this is it. I was super hyped up the whole time. And I remember going in the casting room just hyper, and way too much caffeine. I'll never do that again. And my friend I've made friends with the Samurai Rangers after the fact, after they filmed, with specifically Alex Hartman, and he was in the casting room when I went in there. And I was nervous because he was in the room, and he told me after I left, he texted me. He's like, I just want to let you know, they wrote spaz and circled it on your headshot. And then they told me when I was in the room, like, if you did get the role, we're going to make sure there's no caffeine on set, right? I'm like, so that's basically what happened. Like, I got called back in, and I went in there, I did a cartwheel for them, and we did the chemistry reads, and it just kind of felt right and it worked out. And I talked to my cast afterward, and we all like, they told me like, you know what, for some reason with everyone in the room, we all looked at you and knew you were gonna get it. And I didn't even think that. I was like, oh, this feels great. I'm having a fun time. But everyone, I guess, knew that for some reason I was gonna get the role. So that's one part. And it felt like in place. Then I got a phone call after the fact from my agent while I was driving, and she told me, congratulations, you're the Yellow Ranger. I'm like, no, I'm not. Pink. And that's the first thing I said for some reason. Well, first I said like, are you joking me? As I'm crying. And no, they wanted me to be yellow. So I guess with our personalities, they switched everything around, because Christina, our Pink Ranger, went out for yellow. I went out for pink. And for some reason, it just fit the person. I can't like, it really does. Because Christina's a perfect Emma. She's soft, she's gentle, and just very caring. And I can be a little bit more intense, aggressive, and just stern. And that's very much more Gia. They did name Gia after Angelina Jolie, so that's a fun fact also.
Interesting.
Because in casting, they said that my whole vibe reminded them of Angelina Jolie, and so they were thinking of names, and Gia popped up, and
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that you had turned it down. I knew that you had auditioned for a samurai, but I didn't realize that. That's crazy. What a very weird listening to your gut.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where it's like, well, what am I going to do in the meantime? Like, was it worth it? And I do think it was worth it, because I got to do a lot of cool like guest stars on shows. I did a soap opera on Bold and the Beautiful I was reoccurring on that, and I really learned a lot as an actor, and I felt like that was a really good time for me to just flourish as an actress. And then for the time I went to Power Rangers, I feel like I was more ready than I would have been at a younger age.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that real quick, because I just think that is so, you don't hear that in Hollywood, especially when you're just starting out, that you're like, no, I can't do it. What can you pinpoint what it was about the offer or about the season, or what it was that made you, if you can share?
Yeah, I don't mind sharing. There's two things. One, it just felt something was off, and I'm all about just feeling, and something didn't click for some reason. I was having a great time doing it, but I just had this nervous feeling in my stomach. And then also, it was still a great experience auditioning, and I actually made a lot of friends during the audition process, but it was a little bit of a contract reason, because my manager at the time had a entertainment lawyer look at it, and some things just weren't what they thought I deserved, I guess. Even at a young age, and they're like, you know what, like maybe you should pass. And I just had a couple different things in different directions telling me like maybe this isn't it. And it's like those are basically two things: gut feeling, and then contract wasn't the best. And because people will when I have talked about this, they'll ask me, was it the contract different with Megaforce? And it was slightly different, but basically the same. But I didn't care at that point. I was like, you know what, this feels right. I don't care. I'm just gonna do it anyway. And that's what every single person I tell that is cast in Power Rangers or in the casting process. Because I've had a few people from Dino Charge when they're auditioning, and Ninja, like they'll come to me and like they'll DM me or this or that, or have my agent have them email me, and I'll tell them like, don't do it for money. Do it you'll have the best experience of your life. You will have the most fun. You'll make literally friends, family for life. And that's what you should do Power Rangers for. It's the most amazing experience of your entire existence of life. And I'm telling you, you'll remember it forever. And that's the biggest reason why I think I took it for Megaforce. And that's why I just keep telling new Rangers.
Was Megaforce union or non-union?
Non-union. So I had to go Phi Corps. So I was SAG, and I had to go to the SAG union and do Phi Corps. And I'm still currently Phi Corps. I just never switched back over because I don't feel the need to. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I think Power Rangers will never go union, I don't think, unless something changes. It used to be union though, right? For like the first 10 years or so?
Well, not when we were on it. It went union when we left.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. I never had those residuals randomly, but
great,
guys.
We laugh when Jason and Erin talk about getting residuals. We're like, Must be
That's
nice.
why, because I remember them tell me about it, and then I'm like, oh, what the heck? So I assumed everyone from before that got residuals as well, but
No.
it's okay that we had a fun time.
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, it was our first job. Our first
Exactly.
real job, and so I think I'm grateful. And look at us, 30 years later, we're still here talking about the
Which
show.
is so rare. That's like
So rare.
I've done like random projects throughout my life, and this is the one thing. And I think with many people, I mean, most people, I want to say almost all Power Rangers will say the same thing, that it's the one thing that just sticks. And
Yeah.
it's like a forever thing. And when you say like, oh, I've done that, when you say Power Rangers, wait,
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Laura, what? Like, like everyone from my school, my whole family, it's
True.
it's
It's
fun.
true. It's got made such an impact worldwide, and it's we should feel really grateful to be a part of this
Very.
franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another question for you. This is from David Machin. What does the legacy of Power Rangers mean to you? Oh, that's good. That kind of goes on from what we were just.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize the impact of Power Rangers until I was casted, and even then I wasn't really. I can't. I wasn't completely sure, but it was mainly like our first introduction at Power Morphicon in, I believe it's 2012, when they walked us out on that stage. That moment right then, yes, it was the most magical moment. I was so nervous. I was gonna pee my pants. I was peeing nonstop, but I was in my suit and I didn't know how to do it. And I was like, this is insane. We're all sweating because we're so like, we're shaking. We're just standing like this. Like, if you look at old photos, we all laugh because we're like not knowing what to do. So stiff, so nervous. But that was the moment for all of us. We realized what an impact Power Rangers has, and what it is bigger than us. This isn't just an acting role. We didn't just get casted for something cool that's awesome that we maybe watched when we were younger. This is a completely different world. And I just remember going out there and like, our trailer played, and like,
Yeah, it's
and
like a rock star.
I literally felt like a rock star. Like it reminded me of like a Bohemian. It's a very weird comparison, but in Bohemian Rhapsody, like in
Yeah.
I felt like I was Freddie Mercury, like in the thing with the whole giant, like the charity event was screaming for him. That's how big it felt to me. Like it was amazing. But anyway,
I remember the first time that we saw you guys too at Morphicon. And it was like everybody wants to meet the new kids on the block, And I got nervous meeting you guys. Like I always get nervous meeting the new cast. I don't know why.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing with the new cast after me. Like I'm literally like, hi, like, because you like some might think like they're replacing me, but also you're like super excited, like, oh my god, welcome! You're gonna have so much fun. Like you're so happy. And
Yes.
it's become a very. I remember one thing from the next Paramorphcon I went to, that I was able to like be on the floor. I was excited to like meet everyone for real this time. So second or third one, Peter got casted and from Ninja Steel, and I did not know. They hid it from everyone. And I remember walking, and all of a sudden, Tabitha was telling me, like, oh, they just announced the ninja. And then I was like, wait, what? And I ran really fast.
Like
And
this?
I looked,
You ran like that?
That's how she was walking.
so I was wearing weird heels, and it was hard to run. I was wearing this long skirt too, like, oh god, everything's flying and hitting me in the face. I think I was wearing this really long yellow skirt that year. But I remember running as fast as I can and just charging down the aisleway just because I saw Peter up there, and I was like, oh, and I saw Yoshi, and I just freaked out, and I just started crying. I was just so happy because he auditioned for Samurai, and he auditioned for Megaforce, and he auditioned for Dino Charge. He has auditioned for all of them, and then that's what that is like the most inspirational story, because there's when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Like that's how I felt with Samurai. And that's why like me and Peter have talked about, like it just that Ranger wasn't meant for you. And it like eventually like it always come like Zordon will come, Go Say our guy will come. Like they'll come and pick you, and like you just have to be patient and just wait for. I don't know if any of this answered the question, David.
No,
I'm sorry.
it does. It totally answers it. And
I got like on a whole on different world in my mind talking about it. But
it's also the chemistry of the cast. Like and Iris, we interviewed Iris, and she talked a lot about that. About they're very specific about who they put together, and the chemistry. If you look at all the seasons, there is a lot of chemistry with each individual cast, and Peter fit in perfectly with his cast.
I think they watch you during the audition process. This goes back to question 1. I really do think they watch you because they made us sit in the audition room for hours, like just sitting there. And I remember it didn't make sense. None of it seemed like there was a reason for it. And I just remember all of us were sitting there. It was like they were testing to see, like, not testing us, but I think one of the, I don't want to say his name, but he helped sign all of us in. And I think he kind of hinted like, we're keeping an eye. Don't worry. And I'm like, I think they want to see how patient we are because like there's long hours on set. They want to see how we're interacting with people, who we're getting along with, and what we're saying. And what I know, one girl, she actually got eliminated from casting because of when we're sitting there, she was posting little things about it, and we weren't supposed to. But like, I really do think that chemistry is a huge thing, and they also just kind of, even when you're in the room together, like besides just the chemistry reads, like when they put you in that room together with all of you, they want to see how you interact, talk, the whole thing. It's so important. Chemistry with every movies, TV, it's number 1. It's so huge.
Absolutely. All right. What? Oh, go ahead, Kia.
Something. No. I just wanted to piggyback on what you said because you brought up a few really valid points. But one of them in particular is your audition starts the moment you walk into that casting. And that's what some people don't know. I know that when I auditioned for Danger Force, we did not know that the director was sitting there with there were like three computers, and there were people sitting at each computer in like the lobby area while we were over here, and he was on one of the computers. And all of us are sitting out here. He didn't go inside the audition room. He was, I guess, watching the auditions on the computer outside while
oh my gosh
there.
Wow.
So imperative that even if you were having a bad day, to not show it when you were inside of that little lobby area. Just make sure that it is the best day ever.
Yeah, that is such a good point to remember, because there's been a few times where, I mean, now it's like it's very rare to go in a casting room now the last 3 years, but when you did go, it's like either people are like I know people that were like bickering with people or talking too much, and like you literally just kind of have to just obviously be yourself. Like don't try to fake what you are really when you're in that room, but you never know who's watching. You also don't know who anyone is. Like walking down the street, like that's why I'm so big about just treat everyone how you like to be treated, with like kindness. Doesn't matter who they are, because you never know. Like I don't know. I just feel like it's stupid to treat people differently because of status or something like that. I'm stemming into so many different things right now. Anyway,
we have one more question from John, another John Plaskett. What would you be doing if you weren't acting?
Oh. Well, it depends. If I had certain talents, I feel like I'd do things, but I don't have them completely. Like if I had a talent if I was born with like a voice that was like an angel, I would love to be magician. Musician. I'd be a terrible magician. I would laugh the whole time. I would love to be a singer, a songwriter. I've always was huge on writing poetry growing up. I remember I would submit my poetry to competitions, and I won a few growing up, and I had like them framed in the house and stuff like that. I love poetry. So I think I'd be a songwriter and singer if I had the singing capability. I used to sing when I was younger. It's just not a natural thing for me. It's like a muscle I have to train, and I just don't take the time to do it. But that's what I would do.
I love that.
Yeah. You could a songwriter. You could still
that I could still do. I just have to learn how to do it. I get really intimidated by it because when I read lyrics all the time. I'm so fascinated by lyrics. Whenever I'd buy a CD growing up, I would just take the back book out and just read the lyrics, and I would just like get really into it. I'd make my own music videos in the mirror, and I would take it in the car. We'd be like in Havasu on a boat ride with my family, and I'd be on the boat. My sister would look at me, and I'm like acting like I'm in a music video, and she made so much fun of me. We'd be in the car coming back from the river, and I'd be looking out the window like
I did the
one
same
tear.
thing.
Did you really?
I did. I used to pretend like if it was raining or whatever, I'd be like looking out the window and like make myself cry. And
identically same thing. We're so dramatic. We're such actors.
So pathetic. Oh my gosh.
My sister has an old video camera that we have the tapes, but I don't know how to play it because we can't find how to find a battery for that video camera. I have so many music videos that we would film. I need to figure out a way.
You gotta find that. That could be
so embarrassing.
That could be great footage.
In my mind, watching both of you as T just sitting there.
Rain fall down. Like it always was like the Hillary Duff clean, especially when it was raining outside.
Always with the rain. The rain.
Oh,
I did do a cheesy music video though, where I really got to hone those skills. So yeah, on a beach. That. I had on the beach where you run your hands down your legs and you're waving at the airplanes and all that. I got to be as cheesy as I wanted to be. So all of that prepping was paid off.
It was all for that moment.
My group, we actually did one because I don't know if you know that I used to be in a singing group, so I actually write songs and all of that. So I did get to do a music video. When I look back at it, we look.
I love old videos so much. You're like, what was I thinking? What was going through our head? Especially like 90s and early 2000s are always questionable to me.
I had half Jerry curl, half straight.
You looked hot then, though.
You were rocking the Jerry curl half braid thing.
We were sitting down in the car. We're getting so off topic. Sorry, but I have to say, we were sitting in one of those, those cars, the convertible cars. So we were sitting in the back seat, and our hair is blowing
in one piece. It's just one piece.
That's all in together. What happens? You get 3 girl rangers in a room. You just get off topic.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have Alex moderating questions. Alex is going to bring in questions from the audience. Hello, Alex.
Hello, this is the part of the show where everyone gets to run away because I am not the best looking thing in the room, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, 2 things. First of all, she mentioned she opened up CDs and read them. I no longer feel old. Number 2, definitely need to see that music video.
Yeah,
all right. So I got some really cool super chats here, and we'll start off with Steven McKennica. I hope I said that right.
Yes.
They say, I'm writing this on Tuesday because I'm not sure if I'll be able to watch this live. Ciara, I met you in 2019 at Harrisburg Comic Con. Thank you for being so nice and cool. Looking forward to seeing you at RSP this year.
Aww.
So
thank you, Steven.
Yes. This one. Oh, he writes another one. Also, congratulations on The Legend of the White Dragon. Cannot wait to see it.
Thank you. I'm excited to.
Tell us a little bit about your role in the movie.
So I'm only allowed to say little things because my character is very significant in this movie. I actually was just on the phone with Aaron, the director, this morning, talking about some reshoot stuff. That's exciting. But anywho, so her name is Vanessa. She is very, it's so hard to know what I'm allowed to say. She's very loving, compassionate, lighthearted, and she plays a big role throughout the whole film. That's all I'm allowed to say, I think. But I'm super excited, and I heard the footage is really good, and they were telling me today that it's very dark. That's one thing that we have to remind everyone. It's very dark, very emotional, and I don't think they meant for it to be that way, but it turned into that because Jason literally put his entire feelings and soul and mind into this film, and it really shows and comes through. And it's almost like you're watching what was going through his mind, which is kind of crazy. And I know we got that through like his poetry and stuff, but this is really like his complete passion, and it's gonna be hard for a lot of people to watch, but should be good.
One thing
Yeah, I loved. Oh, go ahead, Kia. Sorry.
thing that Stephen mentioned was that Ciara is going to be at Ranger Stop and Pop this year. She's going to be
Yes.
one of us. So come on out and see her. It's going to be at the Sheraton Atlanta Hotel June 16th through the 18th.
I'm actually.
I got the soundboard here. I'm ready for it. Yeah, can't wait. And hopefully I'll have her on the RSP lounge.
Yes.
If I make it. Just kidding.
Alex host our RSP.
I'll be there.
You will make it.
Yes, ma'am.
I will. You will.
Yes. See, all three of them, guys. You heard it here. I better be there. All right. This one coming up next is from Kent Brown. They say, we had taken some pics at the last PMC together. You've always been very beautiful inside and out. When I saw how our photos look, I actually got a little breathless because you look so amazing. That was from Kent.
She is pretty
Kat,
good.
you're making like I feel warm and hot, I'm, like blushing so much during this whole thing. I swear my face was like not. It looks like I'm sunburnt because I keep blushing and laughing. It's very sweet, Kent. Thank you. It's very sweet. Thank you.
This next one coming up is from Ragos the Sky Dragon.
Ooh,
Hey, Ciara, was it difficult to play a tough girl on MF SMG? And did you Megaforce? And did you have any previous martial arts experience before becoming a ranger?
Heck, I'm tough. What are you talking about? It's the thing is with me. I know there's different kind of type of actors. Me as an actor, I always put myself into a role, and I just kind of highlight that part of me. So I've always kind of been a very go-getter, ambitious, very adventurous. Like I push the limits enough where my mom gets mad at me a lot. So that part of Gia, I really flourished, and it wasn't too hard playing a tough girl. The hardest part really was just not smiling and laughing all the time. The first season, Gia is just never smiling, never. And if you notice in the second season, she smiles a lot more and she's like a lot looser and having a good time. And that definitely was her character arc of like, you know what, I can trust these people, like everything's okay. These are my friends. Before it was just kind of like, you know what, it's business time. So it wasn't too hard. Again, the hardest part was just because I was having a blast filming. So the hardest part was just staying so serious all the time. I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question? I got
martial arts. Did you have any martial arts training? Yeah.
Yes and no. So I did Kung Fu Sansu growing up with my grandpa got me into it because he wanted me to defend myself. And I did that growing up, and I did slight dance. But other than that, I just showed I was willing when I went into because I don't think anyone has to have martial art training to become a Power Ranger. Like basically you just have to be willing, and you just have to like I want to do this like kind of attitude, and like a don't give up attitude. And that's what I showed in my audition. And they brought in the Japanese stunties and trained everything I did on screen was my first time really doing stage combat or anything like that. What I will say is flex, people. Always flex. Flexibility is great, not for just Power Rangers, but when you get older, your joints and your body is fantastic. But I've always been super into stretching and stuff like that. And I think that helped a lot. And everyone always thinks I'm a dancer because of that. But it's mainly just stretching every day and the not give up kind of attitude. And I was like, you know what? I want to be the best. I'm going to keep going. And I remember the training days where I thought I was very athletic and very in shape until I got in a room with the Japanese stunties. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not.
They're amazing.
In other words, fantastic. Don't cross her. Okay, just don't cross
well, now
her.
I'm like, I'm a little rusty now. It's been 10 years, but I can still like, I have to teach Canyon some moves back there.
Oh, yeah.
This next was coming from David Machin. I hope I said that last name right. I want to take a moment of appreciation for the women of Power Rangers. Love you all. It's morphin' time.
Whoop, whoop. Morphin' time.
This next...
we should just do a one super chat, Kat, since we didn't do any of our super chat.
Okay, Ciara has to get involved in this too.
We just do one.
Just one.
Guess what?
Wait, what are we doing?
She's like, look, did you see her eyes?
She was like, oh.
What?
Gonna go, you go, super chat, raise them up high.
Super chat, raise them up high. Got
Yes.
See? Super chat,
Yeah.
raise them up
Raise 'em
high.
up high.
Yeah.
I'm a natural. Woo.
She got it. From Kenya Padilla. Hello, Ciara. Greetings from Mexico. Which was the most significant thing that I leave Gia and you? Okay, that you have. I believe they're trying to say which was the most significant thing that maybe you and Gia have in common.
Oh, interesting. I guess I've never been asked that before. Interesting. I've been asked so many random questions, but never that one. That's a good one.
Gente Mexico, gracias.
Yeah, hola. I guess with me and Gia, we both like when it comes down to a task, we want to get it done right then and there. Like I don't like just kind of like like I don't have that kind of attitude. I get really annoyed when everyone around me has the attitude when I get in go mode. I get in go mode really quick, and so does Gia. And I want to protect my friends around me. I'm very loyal to that extent where like my friends I've had for a bit and I'll protect them. My like reps, like everything around me, it's like I'm very like confident in them and I love them and I respect them and I'm super, super confident about that. And I will defend them forever. And I feel like that's a Power Ranger thing. Also, Gia's like that. And she just very strong. And also when need to take leadership, Gia will do it and so will I. So there are definitely some things that we're connected with and are definitely, and here comes our little
Here's
Power
the
Ranger wanting to join the
mascot.
party.
Here's the diaper mascot.
We call him Mr.
Daddy.
Binky. Oh, you want my clip? You can have whatever you want right now.
This is real life, folks. Real life, right here.
Yeah, this is how it is behind the scenes before she morphs. Next one coming up is some chips in hand. They just want to say hi, Catherine. I've messaged you XOXO on Instagram. They've sent you messages. Yes,
Oh,
so they're
thank you.
fans.
Mwah.
This next
Appreciate
one's
you.
coming up from Lafayette Williams. Hi, Ciara. How did it feel to return in season 2 of Super Mega Force and access power of all legendary rangers, and got to be a samurai ranger?
Oh yeah.
So we had no idea we were doing Super Mega Force, like the go Kiger. I butcher it every time. Azim, where are you? He knows it by heart. So they did not tell us we were getting new suits, new powers, new anything, and I think they definitely did it on purpose because they did not trust us. / me. I was the one troublemaker person of he wants his blankets on his little rail. So that was something we had no idea about. So we showed up when we did season 2. He likes his blankets on this weird rack, as you guys can see. It's a hamper rack, and he's obsessed with putting his blankets on it and pushing around.
Oh, that's
and he like wants me to put him on too, because he likes how I do it better.
there he goes. There he goes. Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
It's so funny.
This is gonna make for the best videos.
Yes. I'm so sorry, everyone. But
Kids.
this reminds me of all the like the Instagram like memes and stuff I see of like people doing interviews and like kids running in the back and like mama, like the nanny like tearing him out. And
The English guy. Do you remember that one with
that's
the
what I'm thinking of.
That was classic. And the cat. Remember the cat? He's
Oh my
the cat foot.
gosh. They're so funny. This is gonna turn into something and I
good.
can't wait. But
So
to answer the question again, we had no idea we were going to do Super Mega Force, and we went in for another fitting. We're like, wait, what's happening? And they said you're in new suits. And then again, during the first season, we had like the figures in our command center, and I just thought they're like cool decorations. It's anniversary season, and those were our keys to use for it. Just a lot of things that we had no idea about that they hid from us, and it was the coolest. I got in trouble for posting a picture of my helmet on Instagram. I do remember that, and I didn't know I wasn't allowed to, and I posted me holding my helmet on the ground in the quarry, and I got called into the principal's office, and I got in trouble. I had to go delete it. I got fined. It was a whole thing.
You got fined?
Yeah, they fined you if you did like bad behavior. Yeah, it was like weird.
Gosh.
Yeah, it was like a whole thing. But it wasn't a big deal, but it definitely felt like it was like school principal's office, like I'm in trouble, detention for me. Like that's what it felt like. But I don't know why they did that with our season specific, because now I get kind of weird and upset when I get really jealous when I see the new seasons, because they show you the world. They're like on set, like doing like TikToks and like all this fun stuff. I was like, we weren't allowed to do anything. So I don't have like any memories on my phone, because I had never brought my phone to set, because we weren't allowed to take photos, do videos, and like with each other. Like I have no memories because they were so strict about it. And it makes me a little bummed out, but I mean, it is what it is. At the time, we had different producers at the time.
Well,
But
I think that now also Hasbro realizes the value in using social media, so they collaborate with them, but they still have to run everything by Hasbro. It all looks very free, but they're not allowed to do anything without getting approval. It's the same thing, but
that's what I was
kind of
thinking
curated,
also.
I think, you know.
Yeah.
Feel better, Cece? We didn't have cell phones.
Oh, damn. That's where I was going with
We
this. I was
old.
going to say that.
We old.
We had Polaroid cameras. So that then.
And letters. We would get actual letters.
Oh, I love that. Honestly, I wish I would have taken because I love just physical photos. I wish I would have taken like a throwaway camera on set like every week and just took photos. That's one thing I wish I did. Like I think Azim brought his actual camera to. He has some good. I need to ask him. He has a couple of videos of me getting burned by fire. Some pictures on. You know what? I really need to. Yeah, it was stunt life's hard. But that's. Yeah, but anyway, it was very cool with Super Mega.
Very
it felt
nice.
awesome doing Samurai and everything, like to do all the past. We were all geeking out the whole time because we're like, I watched this growing up. Oh my gosh. And it was a lot of times you do an ADR. And so that was always fun. I remember like, wait, am I saying it right? Like, I was like always so excited.
How are we on time, Cece? I know that you have your little one. How are we on time?
I'm good on time. He seems to be fine. He just needs assistance every so often. So I'm just going until he doesn't want me to.
Yeah,
we got
a bunch more. I'll try to speed them up here for you.
Or us talk less, or me talk less.
Oh, you guys could talk less and help me out too. No, just kidding. That's so wrong. I'm sorry. Lorenzo de la Fuente wants to know, what was your favorite Ranger to morph into in Super Mega Force?
Out of just nostalgia, I have to say
Tanya.
All of them. Oh. You know what? I loved all of them.
Politically correct answer. All of them.
I have to say Mighty Morphin. Like it was so cool doing that, and Mighty Morphin Yellow was really got me, and also because of Trini, and I was like, this is just such a special moment, and I can't believe I'm doing her call outs, and it was a very special moment in the ADR booth for sure.
That's really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I had no idea. You guys had the power to morph as anyone?
So I know. It feels like we're cheating. We can be anyone. We literally get keys and we put the key in our morpher and we morph for a short amount of time into any ranger. So I can be from Zeo, I can be from Jungle Fury, I can be from Samurai, and we use those to battle. We use different powers to battle
certain monsters. Yeah, that's really cool.
Know that. Even when I saw some of your episodes, I didn't know that. That is extraordinary.
They even morphed into like the original Rangers that got skipped after Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, we did a couple of them. Yeah, a couple of the Japanese footages that never only like aired. The super fans really noticed. Like, wait, what?
I'm a nerd. Next one is from Elise Cuss. If you could team up with another Yellow Ranger, for a villain fight, who would you choose and which villain would you fight?
No pressure, please.
This isn't a fair question. Am I allowed? Okay. Well, I have to take Nakia, but am I allowed to do like Psycho Ranger Yellow just because like she's kind of bad?
Yeah.
And then she know how to like fight the bad guy because she can think like him. I'm gonna do Psycho Ranger Yellow.
Yeah.
I love you, Nakia. You're still back there with me, but I feel like I don't want to put you in that realm. Like it's too much. Like
She doesn't want to put
Too
you
much
in
going
danger,
on.
Kia. She's like,
Exactly.
I'll tell you
please
what, she
do.
could run
I
for
got you.
politician any day of the week with the way
Oh,
she's
yeah.
dodging and stuff, man. I'll vote for you for president. Let's go.
Ciara Hanna for president.
This next one's coming up from Adam Cumler. You three are the best. Loved your seasons.
Oh.
Thank you.
Kent Brown, did you guys get to play with any props from the old seasons? And I think you kind of gave way a little bit, right, to that
Oh, me?
answer? Yeah.
Yeah. So we had, so Japan shipped over all the weapons and the suits of the Japanese series to our warehouse. And our whole warehouse was filled to the rim with a bunch of young 20-year-olds just going around set, wondering what to do. We're bored. So we'd sneak in there, and we definitely went through. I think Andrew, our Red Ranger, he brought his little phone out because we weren't allowed to take photos. He took photos and him like holding it like this and stuff like that. So we did play with them ish. What I will say is the 90s had some big weapons. Like they're like huge, like on your shoulder, like papag. And now it's like a little, even our blaster's kind of big now that I think about it, but like they're big weapons. So we did play with those, and I'd like sneak in the costume department and see the monsters, and then also the Ranger suits and stuff like that. Because I get asked a lot, like, did you wear all the suits from all different series? And they are so like they're fragile. Like you don't like those are like the stunt people are trained and they're professional. Like they're not going to put some 20-something-year-olds that are like, this is so cool, like in them, and they have to protect them at all costs, which I literally agree with completely. So we played with them kind of ish, for what I'm allowed to say.
Oh, wow. So yeah, very, very political of you. I love that. She's like,
I'm very political.
You are running for 2036. President. This next one's yeah.
Just want to tell everybody, I see all of these super chats still coming in. We have her at maximum another 15 minutes.
Yep.
So I would say if you have any more super chats, you need to send it in within the next minute. Otherwise, we're not going to get to it, and we might not get to it anyway. So, but we so appreciate you guys
and
so
you
much.
can always DM Ciara on her Instagram.
Yeah, DM me, and I'll try to keep my answers a little bit shorter. I get like very off track, so we can get more in there.
It's all right. I'm not
fire round.
You're loved, darling. It's a good problem.
I feel very loved.
Yeah. Hello, girls. Greeting from my job in Florida. Blessings to you. That was from Wanda Santana.
Oh,
hello.
This next one's coming up from Stephen Harbor. What's your advice on dealing with corporate culture? You don't always agree with the creativity that you get placed on you, I guess. Yeah.
It can be frustrating. Specifically with Power Rangers, it was frustrating for our season because we got a script and we weren't allowed to put much creativity into it. And some people watch our season and it does feel stiff, they said, and I agree. We put as much personality we could into it, but we weren't really allowed to like improv or there's a few things in the second season we were allowed to, we had more room and they trusted us more, I think. But overall, it is frustrating as a creative that we like when we feel something should happen in a scene or this seems more natural. Like, why can't we do this? It is very frustrating because the corporate and the aboves are in charge of like, nope, they just say no. And like, you'd have to listen to that, even though they're not even there at the time to see that maybe it would add a lot to it. Because even the last moment in Super Mega Force in the finale, I kissed Azim on the cheek. That was completely improv, completely us, and we snuck that in. We fought for it to the death because they didn't want anything. They literally stopped Gia and Jake's relationship because they thought it was progressing too fast, and they're like, we don't know what to do with it, so we just need to stop it. And me and Azim were like, this doesn't seem fair because it's already was established, and also like we really liked the chemistry and relationship between Jake and Gia. And so every moment you see after the third episode of Megaforce was me and Azim adding that to it. And we just the if you read the script, it has nothing to do with Gia kissing Jake or anything like that. Like, we have to give him some kind of conclusion. Like, fans are gonna be like, so what happened with them? So we added that little moment, but it is very frustrating because you have to fight for those moments with everything in you, because they when they feel that But that's also a thing. When they feel important, you should always follow your gut and fight for it. To a point.
Very nice.
I
Jarrell. Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I also think that when you're filming an episode of anything, sometimes it's hard for producers to imagine. So sometimes you have to show them, and once they see it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that works." That's happened so many times on some of the shows that I've been on. They didn't see it in a certain light, and then when we brought it to them, anyways, just they gave us an opportunity. Well, we chose the opportunity, and once it's presented to them, then they can choose. So I would say go for it. When you're put in a situation like that, sometimes just chance it.
Unless the worst thing you'll get is no, and then you move on.
Or a reshoot. This one's coming from Jarrell Vicencio.
Or recast.
Or recast. Yeah, there you go. Wow, she went the distance.
I'm not always political.
She's like, you're fired. When your kid grows up and tells you they want to be an actor, what advice would you give them? I love your PR seasons.
Oh, well, thank you. Just don't, if you really love it, don't give up. Also, don't take rejection, anything personal. Like literally, there's a role for everyone. They're looking for something specific, has nothing to do with you. And so just be your best self when you go in, and then just forget about it when you leave the door. And if you get it, that's great. If you don't, on to the next. I know so many people that take it so personal. Like it has literally, and I have to remind everyone around me, because everyone in my family is not entertainment business, and they're like, why didn't you get that? Like, why haven't you heard back from that audition? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. And it just, I was too tall or too blonde, or maybe they just, my smile. And I've heard so many times like, well, like we like this person better on camera. Like nothing to do with saying I'm ugly or anything. It was just basically like, it just looked better with that one person. Like you just have to know it has nothing to do with you as long as you're your best self. That's my advice I give to maybe Canyon.
And be political.
Yeah, did you hear that, Canyon?
I need to, by the way, I need to try what he's doing back there. Winter Light. Is this what it says? Yeah, Winter Light. You guys rock. You guys are rock stars to us. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
This next one's from JL Leichter. When you left the show, did you miss any of your castmates?
Oh, yeah. We lived together, worked together. We did everything together. We were each other's everything. So it did. We got like I feel like with everything I film, especially Power Rangers, but anything, I get like a post depression.
Yeah.
And I get really upset and sad because you get so like you become like best friends, and also I'm like, wait, what the heck? What happened? So I definitely got sad, and we did hang out a lot, and that's why I always love conventions, because I'm able to, especially like Atlanta, like places like that. We get to all go together as like we're family, and we get to see each other and have a great time. And it's those moments to me that we get to meet a lot of amazing fans, but also we're having like a family reunion for us, and that's what keeps it alive, pretty much. But it was really sad.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. This next coming up is from Wanda Santana. She's another one. Hopefully, I will meet you girls one day.
Yes.
Yes. Let's just
in Atlanta.
Just two more, Alex.
Yeah, no problem. Yep. Okay, cool. Let's do the last two then that just came in here that I had saved here. In Super Mega Force, when you morphed, this is from Garrett Jackson. In Super Mega Force, when you morphed into the legendary Rangers that were based off Super Sentai Rangers, do you ever think that they will make an adaptations for them? Oh, he means like when we spoke about the ones that weren't adapted that you actually went into.
I don't think they will. They might do something that I'm not sure of. I do know there is like political stuff and franchisee kind of things with it. I remember when they were the next season after us, they were debating between doing Dino Charge or Beast Morphers. And they were, because I think technically the Beast Morphers season comes, I think, after our season in Japan. And it just, they have so many things that weigh what they do. It depends on what's popular in the US, because there's also I forgot the name of it, but there's a train season in Japan that's really popular over there, but they have not done it here at all.
I don't think it's going to make its way here. Yeah.
I don't think so either. And then I asked why. I asked because I used to go in the office to ask so many little questions to the writers and stuff, because I was just a curious George back then. I still kind of am. But they said that they don't think trains are popular in the US. I'm like, I think they are. I'm like, my son likes trains. Like, what are you talking about? But it's just one of those things that there's a lot of factors. It's not just there's always a reason why they skip seasons, and
I'll tell
I
you
just
what,
don't think they're going to
dinosaurs are
go
always
back.
popular.
Always
Yeah.
popular. I love Jurassic Park. I'm always about dinosaurs. He roars like a dinosaur all the time. We are big dinosaur fans over here.
Last one here is coming from Michael Pan. It's actually from Nakia. Nakia, what lessons did you learn from Power Rangers Turbo?
What lessons did I learn? I think through Power Rangers itself, be grateful for the blessings that you get, because I think I didn't appreciate being on the show until it was the very end. I also learned, because of the way that we left the show, Michael, was not the greatest. We were replaced without even knowing that we were going to be replaced, and we've gone over that situation a ton of times. So learning from your experiences, and then just understanding that God has a plan for you, regardless if it hurts, if it rips your heart out and you're crying every single day, there's always a plan. And I had to learn that with Turbo, crying my way off the set, not knowing what the next day was going to be. You know, we didn't have social media. I didn't know that Power Rangers was going to be as popular, that I would even see my cast again. I kept in contact with Kat, but she was the only one. So there were a lot of lessons. And, you know, Turbo was the very first motion picture that I had ever done. So seeing my fat face on the screen was just amazing as well.
Jesus.
What?
But, you know, I like to crack jokes. But yeah, experience that I will always and forever appreciate. Thank you for your question.
To piggyback on that, that's kind of the same thing I learned being on set. That was like my first like series I was on every single day as an actor, as the main person, and that was one thing I don't think I appreciated it, but to appreciate that time, because if I can go back and redo it, I would, just for the fact of I would embrace it more. Because I remember, like, me and Christina, we just were so overwhelmed of being in a different country. We didn't have like they do now, but at the time we didn't have like the iPhone. The only way I was able to communicate with my family or friends from home was like email and Skype when we were at home, and if our internet was on. And so it was very lonely, and I ended up isolating myself a lot. And I remember every time I got home, I just stayed in my room, or on the weekends I would stay to myself and not do anything. And if I read it again, I would be a lot more social and embracing the people around me. And I think just appreciating that time, to what you were saying.
Mm-hmm. Hi, buddy.
Oh,
Thank you, Kenyon, for loaning your mommy to us. You were such a good boy.
You were super good. I'm always so impressed by him. I'm always so afraid, and he always proves me wrong.
He is so precious. Oh my
We have
god.
2 last fun questions to ask you. Kat's going to
Yes.
ask a question, and I'm going to ask you a question, and then that's it.
Okay. If you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be?
Teleportation. I want to teleport anywhere and be where I want to be, and I want to visit. There's so many people I want to visit in the world that I'm friends with that don't live near me, and it makes me so depressed when I look at plane ticket prices and how long it takes.
I know, right? That's what I would want too. Teleportation.
That's so good.
Yeah. Okay. If you found a walking, talking fish in your refrigerator, what would you do?
Scream. Shut the fridge. Call Chase. What the heck is going on in their fridge? I would think I'm in a Dr. Seuss book. What's happening? I don't know what I would do. I think I would freak out and just keep the fridge closed. He already was surviving in there with it closed anyway. So it's not like I'm going to kill him, I don't think. And there's like food and stuff in there, but I would definitely then probably call up. I'm thinking too into this. I'm call a place. They come get the talking fish. I don't think I'd talk to it anymore. It'd freak me out. Although I don't want to like know why it's there. I want to like, I'd throw everything out in my fridge. I'm like stressed out just thinking about it.
You wouldn't want to call the news and go viral or anything? You got this talking.
No, I'd be too freaked out. I don't know. I think maybe I should have done that. I'd probably make some money off of it and I'd go viral and get popular about it, but I'd be too freaked out to even.
Who do you call to pick up the fish? Do you call like
Animal
Wildlife?
control? I don't know.
Animal control? I don't know. Who do you call?
Like a fish sanctuary? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm not grilling that thing. Like, he's gonna talk back at me. I just
That
made
is
sushi
funny.
last night. Now I feel bad.
Thank you
Oh,
so much for joining
No,
us.
thank you. I had a great time. I'm still hot from blushing, and I'm just so
oh,
happy. And he was so good. I'm so
he
proud
was
of him.
such a good boy. Thank you, Kenyon. We love you. Your aunties love you.
Auntie.
I have to jump in and do the applauses, you know, before you get out of here.
Thank you, Alex,
Thank
for
you.
moderating for us. And sorry
Yeah.
that we didn't get to all of your questions. Know that we
No, I'm sorry.
can always DM Ciara. Where can everybody find you, Cece?
You can find me. I'm mainly on Instagram. That's like my prime real estate of fun. So it's Ciara Hanna 20, CIARA HANNA 20. That's basically where I put everything. If not, good luck. It's like the 80s. Come find me.
Thank you so much.
Your same name. So be mindful that if it does not have the verification, the blue verification, that it is not Cece. It's not Ciara. Because there is
True.
someone who has the exact same
When you get home.
name. They're a fan of yours. I've talked to them because I thought it was you at first. And that ain't Cece.
I have a funny story really quick. When I was filming in New Zealand, because I had no communication to anyone but email and Skype, that was it. Or when I was on Wi-Fi, I think I can talk to someone. No, actually, I didn't have iMessage. I didn't have an iPhone. So anyway, people took advantage of that and made a fake email. And at the time, it was super, I think it had like one added letter to it or something like that, and was emailing my boyfriend at the time. And that was the only way he communicated with me. And the person literally was breaking up with him and telling him I found someone else. And it was like in writing just like me. And I was so confused. And my boyfriend at the time was like super upset, crying, and didn't know what to do. And he didn't believe me when I told him. I was like, this isn't me. He's like, it's like he did not believe me. So they were faking being me, and they broke up with my boyfriend. And then they made a fake Facebook and made fake Facebook of all my family members, and were talking back and forth, so it looked real. And I remember not being able to get them deleted for the longest time. And it was quite the experience of my first encounter with all of that. So yeah, if it's not verified, guys, don't
It's
share my
happened to
number and
me.
email
It's
to
happened to
anyone.
me several times. It's
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's
It's happened
very
with family members. So
yeah, like I can't tell if I should be flattered or just like really upset. If it's not damaging, I'm like, just don't do anything crazy, guys. But when it's damaging and like affecting relationships with people and like DMing, and I've had people say like, I've been talking to you for, I get conventions coming, like I've been talking to you for so long, and I'm really excited for the project we're doing. I'm like, and like promising them things. I'm like, no.
Wow.
So everyone, yes, verified, baby, on Instagram is where you need to find me.
Thank you
You
again.
coloring? Good job.
Bye, Canyon.
Hi, Kenyon.
Thank you guys so much. I had so much fun, and
Oh, we love you, and we'll
I
see
love
you in
you.
June.
I'll
See
see
you
you
soon.
Yay! Mwah.
soon.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
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 Aw, yay.
I remember my boys, and I'm sure you remember Callum and Lily being that little. Like,
I just love children. They're just so present, and there's no like, they are what they are.
yeah.
And he was so cooperative, but I just love kids. They're so great.
That was such a great live, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all your amazing questions. And again, you can always send your questions to Ciara. She'll answer them. And we're sorry we couldn't get to all of them today. She was very gracious to give her time with her little guy in tow. But we love you, and we thank you for joining. And we'll see you next month with our next live guest.
Yes. Well, real quick, I will be in Texas this weekend, in New Braunfels, and Kat and I will both be at Lexington. This is the first time I've been to Lexington in like I don't even
Yes.
7 years or so. So I'm very, very excited. And Alex, why don't you show your face again? We want to just yes.
Thank you, Alex.
Just
you guys always kill it. Great job today. That was really insightful. So I was just happy to be in the background and listening.
yeah.
Oh, and I'm going to be in Clarksville, Tennessee at a one-day con in Clarksville, Tennessee on March 18th.
Oh,
So, yes, forgot about that one too.
nice. Well, thank you guys. We love you.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. See you next time.